Hi, we have Kun Suwat with us today to talk about IVL. Kun Suwat now has the most aggressive forecast in the market, also the most bullish target price for IVL. Our new target price is 77 baht, which implies 62% upside. So I'll let Kun Suwat talk about IVL, why we are so super bullish about this company.
Okay, first of all, I think that the company has already proved to the market that they changed the business successfully from commodity driven to become more specialty driven. I said more specialty driven because it still have commodity part inside the company. Okay, but overall, I think that the question would be what exactly happened drive the company share price and earning from last year to this year, and what will happen next that could have a more upside. I will try to answer this question for you. Okay, let me start with the last year. Last year, the company successfully acquired a lot of specialty capacity into the portfolio. Now, the company have around 1.8 million tons capacity out of 11 millions, which is around 20% of capacity only, which is you can call specialty product. Specialties mean that margin will be about 3 times higher than commodity in terms of EBITDA margin per ton. Right? While the in terms of percentage is about double, about 12 to 15% EBITDA margin percentage. That we call specialty. And in the past 1 year, despite the fact that we saw the declining margins for their commodity product PET and PTA, but actually the company earning has been growing every single quarter. Why? Because the change from commodity into specialty actually have helped more than offset the declining margin for the commodity products. So that's why it become today that the company 50% of their EBITDA is actually generated from 20% specialty product only. While so you can say that in terms of capacity, the company look like commodity company because 80% still dominated by commodity product. However, in terms of EBITDA, which is more important in my view, 50% now is actually generated by specialty. Looking forward, what I actually have a different view, why I am more bullish than the market. I think, first thing, for actually 4 drivers that I believe that earning growth for next year would be more than 20-30% from this year. First one, actually the company acquire more specialty capacity 4 company this year. 3 already complete. 1 will be complete by the end of this year. Once complete, next year the company will add around 400,000 tons of specialty product capacity into their portfolio, bringing total specialty capacity to about 2.3 million tons. That alone, in my estimate, will generate earning a year for IVL around 10 billion baht, which is about 50% of my estimate earning a year next year. This is on the bottom-up basis that I will explain to you why 20 plus billion next year, which is about 30% higher than today, come from. Now I already said to you that specialty 2.3 million ton will generate 10 billion earning. Second will come from the startup of the ethane cracker in US. It will start up in December, and bear in mind that IVL is one of only 8 companies globally, along with the Dow Chemical, BP Chemical, Formosa Petrochemical, that successfully enter and will complete ethane cracker in US using the cheap shale gas as a feedstock, which is almost as cheap as the Middle East, and produce the same product in Italy in the growing market in US. So the EBITDA or earning from this plant, about 440,000 tons, will be around 3 billion a year, 3 billion baht a year. So now we have 2 parts comprising 10 billion and 3 billion. It becomes 13 billion. The third driver now become more cycle products because IVL over 8 million ton out of 11 million ton today capacity is come from 2 products, PET and PTA. These 2 products, we already seen improvement in the margin around 20% from the July like this year. Why? Because there are structural change in the industry globally, mainly from the two financial difficulties for the IVL two competitors. One is called M&G, which is one of the key three players in North America, have been in filing bankruptcy. So this is structural change. Second will be the JBF, which is a Asian and Europe player, producer, competitor. Both companies have financial trouble that actually lower their production, shut down. They also have been selling the asset in the future. So I would say that the higher margin today will continue into next year. That alone could add around 5 to 7 billion earnings to IVL based on 8 million tons capacity that I calculate. So now we come to 20 billion from three parts. The last part, which is more interesting, is for the first time that IVL moved into ball pet, which is a frame, pet frame. It's not a fiber, it's a frame. There are too many applications, but ball pet is very different from pet market. First, because it's a small size, only 4 million tons capacity demands. This is only about six or 7 times smaller than pet. Second, because the company that they acquire belong to DuPont and joint venture with Teijin Japanese company. These two companies produce only specialty ball pet frame using for solar panel, using for medical equipment, electronic equipment. So you can see that this is not very common film like you use for the packaging food. This is a very specialty. So the margin is about 3 to 4 times higher. What I say is that in terms of the size, about almost 20,000 ton capacity for this ball pet that I acquire, it will be very significant to IVL because it will contribute around 2 billion earnings a year. Now you come to 22, 23 billion already. This is exactly my new forecast earnings for IVL next year. Wow, this is a 30% above consensus because consensus is about 18 billion, some even lower than that number. So I explain to you how I come up with this number.
Okay, your number is about 30% higher than consensus for the year 2018.
Yes.
So basically what you are saying is all the numbers is actually not known in the market, right? On the ball pet, the ethane crackers and M&As. So this is something very new to the market.
I think, to be fair, like this, some are new, some are not. Because let's say ethane cracker, I have been mentioned this in the market for 1 year already. Actually written about that for 1 year already. But market has started to just been excited today, right? Then you talk about margin up. I think it's also a bit known to the market. But I think in terms of the ball pet and also in terms of IPA that I have to keep that is one of the HVA product in IVL that will be double the production next year. That actually has been underestimated by the market, I think. So this alone is contribute around 2-3 billion earnings a year already. So my gap to the market about 5 billion, partly or mostly explained by the market underestimate or overlook IPA and ball pet, I think.
Okay, so if the market turn more positive on the ball pets on IPA, then they're going to increase another maybe 10%. So the numbers still
not 10%
bullish,
because
right?
that's two, it's about 3 billion.
Ball pet is about 3
billion is about
out
15-20%. So another 1-2 billion, I think it probably come from something else. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. What can be the surprise upside more for your forecast? Is there anything that will surprise us more on the IVL?
I think at least 2 things that could actually make my number lower than expected. It means upside. First thing is that I actually use conservative margin for PET and PTA. Let's say my forecast next year about $230. Today is actually $250. Second is PTA also is the same. I use about 120, 130. Today is actually higher than that number. So what I say is that I actually believe that that 250 level for PET margin and is actually cannot sustain too long because this is only more like a spike. So I think it's normalized to around 230, 220. That's why I use that number. So let's say if things turn out that is better, it means that margin stay 250. Then that would be my other upside. And bear in mind that IVL has about 4 million, almost 5 million tons capacity of PET. Whatever $10 change, you actually times 5 million tons for IVL.
Okay, so for the PET and PTA, basically these are the two. The price has been coming off for the past few years, right? So now are we starting seeing the uptick in the price now? Can we say that this is the beginning of the upcycle of the PET and PTA?
This is my view. I think is that if you want to invest in this company, don't even focus too much on the cycle. Because what actually I explained to you so far, nothing about cycle. Nothing about cycle. But, of course, because about 70% of total capacity, which is around 8 million tons of the capacity for IVL is still commodity. So whatever cycle go up, then they benefit. But what I say to you, my number 23 billion earnings is actually not bullish on the cycle at all. In fact, I don't expect that a cycle will turn up. I think probably I only expect margin cycle to recover from the so-called cash cost level that had been suffering for the industry, the whole industry for the past 7 years. So I do believe that my bullish number actually not rely on bullish margin. No, actually on the bullish structural and strategic change in the company. This is very different. So last cycle, you can say that IVL is a pure commodity company. So you need to be bullish on the cycle margin. But this cycle, you don't need it. But if it comes, of course, it will be the upside, big upside, because if let's say margin go up about $30 to $50 from today, which is still much below last cycle level, IVL earning could exceed 27 billion easily.
Right. So how many quarters that IVL has to prove that they have changed from a commodities into a specialty companies for people to trust IVL and then saying, okay, from now on, you're not commodity play anymore. So how many quarters that you think they have to prove the numbers?
In fact, since the second quarter last year, every single quarter, the company still deliver stronger quarterly earnings every quarter, despite the fact that PET margin just recover in July this year. What that tell you is mean that IVL already proved to the market that their business chain has been delivering more sustainable and stronger growth earnings. But of course, today we stand at the 7-year down cycle. We already seen some improvement in the margin because of the competitor financial trouble. So they even benefit more than last year actually. And one thing that I actually do not include that upside is actually tax benefit from US. Because we know that today the Trump government, they push very hard to reduce the corporate tax in US from 35% to 20%. IVL pay around 2 billion, let's say about 2 billion earning and tax expense a year, 2 to 3 billion. Half of it from US. This is because IVL pay the highest tax rate in US, about 35%, and also generate the highest taxable income in US, about almost 50% of that taxable income. So whatever happen, let's say 35 to 30, 35 to 20, I calculate that annually IVL could see 500 to 1 billion earning additionally, at least from the tax benefit.
Okay, that sounds very good. Well, thank you, Khun Suwat, for this. This is a very good report initiated by Suwat for the upgrade of the target price. You can have a look at it in the CMB report note today from Khun Suwat on IVL. Thank you.
Thank you.